Government has been pushing us to rationalize, the justification being to cut down on government expenditure. And like I was saying, that's a compelling argument. But while we are rationalizing to save taxpayers' money, to cut down on government expenditure, here then comes another huge government expenditure that we need to understand, because you cannot preach water and then drink wine. What do I mean? You cannot say, let's rationalize, let's cut down on government expenditure. In the same breath, you are bringing in new people within the system that have got to be paid by the taxpayer. What sense does it make, Right Honorable Speaker? What role are the assistant RDCs going to play that RDCs and deputy RDCs cannot play? We need to have a good understanding of that, Right Honorable Speaker. The Minister for the Presidency has said in her communication that the assistant RDCs are going to play 3 roles. Number 1 is to promote patriotism. Number 2 is to carry out mobilization. And number 3, to fight corruption. We need to be helped to understand whether now assistant RDCs are taking over the work of the Inspectorate of Government, because there seems to be a lot of duplication. Also, if you're saying they are meant to carry out mobilization, for what exactly? Is it mobilization for the NRM, mobilization for Parliament, mobilization for what exactly? This needs to be broken down. And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, when you read Section 70 of the Local Governments Act, it provides for the caliber of people that should be appointed RDC. That's the legal provision. But by extension, we can cascade that down to anybody occupying or within the office of the RDC. Section 70 provides that these are meant to be people of high moral integrity, people whose conduct is not questionable. One of the people that have been appointed to this position, which we are yet to fully understand as assistant RDC, is Ewaniga Chisacha MUKAMA. This person has been posted as assistant RDC to Gomba district. Honorable Speaker, in 2021, videos made rounds of this person.
Honorable LOP, just a minute. You're raising a very, very important point. Very important point. But I want to ask the government chief whip to, we have so many ministers under that docket. I don't want him to involve himself. Let him call for us, the minister involved. Because you're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to repeat the same thing. You wait and you bring it as it is, even if it is in the middle of the debate. Even if we are at business committee, you'll repeat your issue. It's a very important point that should be noted. Government.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Leader of Opposition for raising this matter where he's seeking clarity. And he states in clear terms that his role is to keep the government in check. But our role in government is also to sustain our stay through the support of the people of Uganda. That said, Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to request your chair to give time to the Minister for the Presidency to come and provide clarification on the appointment of the Assistant Resident District Commissioners and Assistant Resident City Commissioners, their roles and responsibilities, and why the National Resistance Movement government thought it wise that we need to empower more those offices that do exist in our districts and in our cities. I beg to request that you give her time And in the circumstances, we could proceed with the items on the order paper. If that pleases you, you could give the appropriate time for her to come and explain. Thank you.
Can you, Honorable Government Chief Whip, can you first try to call her up and then you tell us her availability before we decide to give her time?
Madam Speaker, I just wanted to make a comment on what the LOP has said, but also the House, to keep reflecting on this particular issue. When we sit as the House and approve the budget, approve these items, because I remember in this budget, we approved money for assistant RDCs. We approved it in the budget, and the minister has taken action. And then we come back, no, this financial year where we are, which is ending in June, yes, and then the government takes action. And then you come back as if you are not involved. You were involved in approving this position.
Let's get a report to that effect, Honorable. Let's get to know if it is true that the money was approved, how much money was approved, and it still brings you to the caliber of the people that the leader of opposition is talking about. Do you bring in this kind of RDCs who just go on rampage, like the one of, I don't want to mention the name, do you bring in those kind of RDCs and that kind of thing? So let's get a paper to that effect. Get a paper to that effect. If we approved the money and the criteria, and yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Of course, I want to agree with the minister that I remember we approved the money. The major issue is, like any civil servants and public officers, they need serious scrutiny and to go through the process. Now, if you look through, even in the qualifications, there's no specific qualification for an RDC. And that, of course, leaves it hanging for anyone. Yes, I'm saying it's up to us now. It's part of what we should focus on, to develop some of those roles that govern the process of even appointing RDCs. You should be
Honorable
this person.
members,
Yes.
I have already made a ruling to that effect. Let's come with a paper to show that this amount of money was appropriated for recruitment of deputy RDCs, and this is the criteria, and these are the requirements of a person. You cannot pick somebody just from nowhere to come and claim to be an RDC when a person has a bad track record. So these people, they must do a due diligence on that.
Right Honorable, so
There's
just to
a
get quick
procedure
guidance
matter.
from you.
Procedure matter first.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Right Honorable, it's good that you have ruled we shall receive a report from the minister, but we request that as the whip talks to the minister to bring the report, already we have challenges with some of these other existing people because they need to go through the right channel. We have got these experiences like Anderson of Lubaga. Everybody has read what he has been writing and his arrogance and how he has handled. That shows the type of people that we have been having. Now, if we have been having the type of Anderson existing, the current that they have appointed, Right Honorable, the current ones, I have an example of one who didn't even go to school at all, but is also posing as the assistant. So this is where we are going. So we request that as the minister comes with his report, let him also show us those people he's appointing and their qualifications.
Honorable members, just finish up. I have made a ruling to that effect.
Yeah, I just wanted you to guide further, Right Honorable
For me,
Speaker.
it's not about education, but the character of a person.
Very important, Right Honorable, the character, because we can't have people who are occupying public offices, earning from the consolidated fund, they address in public, hurl insults at people and traditional leaders like this eager person. It's unacceptable. Right Honorable Speaker, if you could guide further, because you had asked the government chief.
But I want to refer you to Article 203, Resident District Commissioner. There shall be each district a resident district commissioner who shall be appointed by the president. For a person to be appointed as a resident district commissioner, he or she shall be a citizen of Uganda and qualified to be a member of parliament, an equivalent of a member of parliament, and that is merely just S6. The functions of a resident commissioner are, you'll see from there. But what is paramount is that you should qualify to be a member of parliament.